Unit 57, 2801, Arbitrator, Arbitrator, Arbitrator. A person appointed to settle a dispute. Mediator, Adjudicator, Litigant. 2802, Arousal, Arousal, Arousal. A state of being physiologically alert or reactive. Stimulation, awakening, dormancy. 2803, Breadth, breadth, breadth. The distance or measurement from side to side. Width, span, narrowness. 2804, Buccaneer, Buccaneer, Buccaneer. A pirate, especially in the Caribbean. Privateer, lawman. 2805, Calligraphy, Calligraphy, Calligraphy art. Of beautiful handwriting, penmanship, lettering, scribble. 2806, Caucus, Caucus, Caucus. A private meeting of members of a political group. Assembly meeting. 2807, Corollary, Corollary, Corollary. A direct or natural consequence, result, outcome, premise. 2808, Curator, Curator, Curator. A keeper or custodian of a museum. Custodian, keeper, visitor. 2809, Elegy, Elegy, Elegy. A mournful poem or song. Lament, dirge, paean. 2810, Exactitude, Exactitude, Exactitude. Accuracy in detail. Precision, accuracy. Inexactness. 2811, Fort, Fort, Fort. A person's strong suit. Strength, specialty, weakness. 2812, Gibberish, Gibberish, Gibberish. Unintelligible or meaningless speech. Nonsense, babble, sense. 2813, Liaison, Liaison, Liaison. Communication for establishing a common action. Intermediary, go-between, blockade. 2814, Mosaic, Mosaic, Mosaic. A picture or pattern made of small colored pieces. Tessellation, pattern, uniformity. 2815, Nihilist, Nihilist, Nihilist. One who rejects established beliefs, skeptic, believer. 2816, Pacifist, Pacifist, Pacifist. One who opposes war or violence. Peacemaker, warmonger. 2817, Penury, Penury, Penury. Extreme poverty, destitution, impoverishment, affluence. 2818, Philistin, Philistin, Philistin. A person indifferent to cultural values, materialist, intellectual. 2819, Precipice, Precipice, Precipice. A very steep cliff, cliff, bluff, valley. 2820, Prognosis, Prognosis, Prognosis. A forecast of the likely outcome of a situation. Prediction, forecast. Retrospective. 2821, Turpitude, Turpitude, Turpitude. Depravity or wickedness. Depravity, corruption, virtue. 2822, Veneer, Veneer, Veneer. A thin decorative covering. Facade, overlay, reality. 2823, Viper, Viper, Viper. A venomous snake, serpent. 2824, Acquiesce, Acquiesce, Acquiesce. To accept reluctantly but without protest. Comply, consent, resist. 2825, Adhere, Adhere, Adhere. To stick fast or cleave. Cling, stick, detach. 2826, Besmirch, Besmirch, Besmirch. To damage the reputation of. Sully, tarnish, honor. 2827, Decimate, Decimate, Decimate. To kill or destroy a large proportion of. Devastate, annihilate, restore. 2828, Deplete, Deplete, Deplete. To use up the supply of. Exhaust, drain, replenish. 2829, Incur, Incur, Incur. To become subject to something unwelcome. Sustain, suffer, avoid. 2830, Indict, Indict, Indict. To formally accuse of or charge with a serious crime. accuse, charge, acquit. 2831. Pander, pander, pander. To gratify or indulge, gratify, indulge, refuse. 2832. Preen, preen, preen. To groom oneself with elaborate care, primp, spruce up, neglect. 2833. Swerve, swerve, swerve. To change direction abruptly, veer, deviate, continue. 2834. Transmute, transmute, transmute. To change in form or nature, transform, convert, preserve. 2835. Waffle, waffle, waffle. To speak or write evasively, equivocate, vacillate, decide. 2836. Adroit, adroit, adroit. Skillful and clever, adept, dexterous, clumsy. 2837. Ashen, 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 very pale. Typically due to shock or illness. Pallid, ghastly, flushed. 2838. Berserk, berserk, berserk. Out of control with anger or excitement. Frantic, enraged, calm. 2839. Bizarre, bizarre, bizarre. Very strange or unusual. Odd, eccentric, normal. 2840. Demoniac, demoniac, demoniac. Madly enthusiastic or possessed by a demon. Maniacal, frenzied, calm. 2841. Distant, distant, distant. Far away in space or time. Remote, far off, near. 2842. Homogeneous, homogeneous, homogeneous. Of the same kind or nature. Uniform, consistent, heterogeneous. 2843. Impetuous, impetuous, impetuous. Acting quickly without thought. Rash, impulsive, cautious. 2844. Inviolable, inviolable, inviolable. Never to be broken or dishonored. Sacrosanct, unbreakable, breakable. 2845. Lachrymose, lachrymose, lachrymose. Tearful or given to weeping. Tearful, weeping, joyful. 2846. Non-committal, non-committal, non-committal. Not expressing a clear opinion. Evasive, indefinite, decisive. 2847. Practical, practical, practical. Concerned with what is actually possible or achievable. Pragmatic, realistic, theoretical. 2848. Staid, staid, staid. Sedate, respectable, and unadventurous. Sober, solemn, frivolous. 2849. Tempestuous, tempestuous, tempestuous. Characterized by strong or turbulent emotion. Turbulent, stormy, calm. 2850. Vituperative, vituperative, vituperative. Bitter and abusive. Scolding, venomous, complimentary. Unit 58. 2851. Arroyo, arroyo, arroyo. A steep-sided gully. Gully, ravine. 2852. Bauble, bauble, bauble. A small, showy trinket. Trinket, knick-knack. 2853. Cadence, cadence, cadence. A modulation or inflection of the voice. Rhythm, tempo, monotone. 2854. Cessation, cessation, cessation. The fact of ending. Stop, halt, continuation. 2855. Compunction, compunction, compunction. A feeling of guilt or moral scruple. Remorse, guilt, indifference. 2856. Doctrine, doctrine, doctrine. A belief or set of beliefs. Creed, dogma. 2857. Ejaculation, ejaculation, ejaculation. A sudden, strong exclamation, exclamation. Interjection, statement. 2858. Exegesis, exegesis, exegesis. Critical explanation of a text. Interpretation, analysis. Ignorance. 2859. Fluency, fluency, fluency. The ability to express oneself easily. Eloquence, haltingness. 2860. Ire, 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 anger, rage, wrath, calm. 2861. Justification, 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 the action of showing something to be right, reason, vindication, condemnation. 2862. Montage, 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 the technique of selecting and piecing together separate sections, collage, assemblage. 2863. Peccadillo, 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 a small, relatively unimportant offense, misdemeanor, crime. 2864. Scale, 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 a graduated range of values forming a standard system, range, spectrum. 2865. Scruple, 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 a feeling of doubt about propriety, hesitation, qualm, indifference. 2866. Tarantula, 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 a large, hairy spider, spider. 2867. Abut, 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 to be adjacent to, border, adjoin, separate. 2868. Apprehend, 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 to arrest or take into custody, arrest, capture, release. 2869. Belie, 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 to give a false impression, misrepresent, reveal. 2870. Belittle, 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 to make someone or something seem unimportant, demean, disparage, praise. 2871. Debilitate, 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 to make someone weak and infirm, weaken, enfeeble, strengthen. 2872. Defray, 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 to provide money to pay, cover, fund, charge. 2873. Enrapture, 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 to give intense pleasure or joy, delight, enthrall, bore. 2874. Exclaim, 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 to cry out suddenly in surprise, shout, cry, whisper. 2875. Gawk, 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 to stare openly and stupidly, ogle, stare, ignore. 2876. Hurdle, 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 move at high speed in a reckless manner, speed, rush, creep. 2877. Modulate, 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 to adjust or adapt to a certain proportion, adjust, regulate, distort. 2878. Prod, 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 to poke or jab with a finger, foot, or pointed object, jab, poke, withdraw. 2879. Shirk, 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 to avoid or neglect, evade, dodge, face. 2880. Swelter, 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 to suffer from oppressive heat, overheat, perspire, freeze. 2881. Thwart, 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 to prevent someone from accomplishing something, foil, frustrate, aid. 2882. Trespass, 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 to enter someone's land without permission, intrude, exit. 2883. Vilify, 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 to speak or write about in an abusively disparaging manner, defame, slander, praise. 2884. Wrench, 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 to pull or twist suddenly, jerk, tug, push. 2885. Assiduous, 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 showing great care and perseverance, diligent, persistent, lazy. 2886. Bestial, 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 of or like an animal, savagely cruel, brutal, savage, gentle. 2887. Carping, 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 difficult to please, critical, petty, fault-finding, uncritical. 2888. Convoluted, 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 extremely complex, intricate, complex, simple. 2889. Disastrous, 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 causing great damage, catastrophic, devastating, fortunate. 2890. flagrant, 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 conspicuously or obviously offensive, blatant, glaring, subtle. 2891. Genuine, 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 truly what something is said to be. Authentic, real, fake. 2892. Gory, 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 involving or showing violence and bloodshed, blood-stained, gruesome, clean. 2893. Ignoble, 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 not honorable in character, dishonorable, base, noble. 2894. Insensible, 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 without one's mental faculties, unaware, unaware, oblivious, aware. 2895. Omnivorous, 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 feeding on food of both plant and animal origin, all-eating, herbivorous. 2896. Opalescent, 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 showing variations of color, iridescent, dull. 2897. Profligate, 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 recklessly extravagant or wasteful, wasteful, extravagant, frugal. 2898. Stark, 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 severe or bare, in appearance, austere, harsh, ornate. 2899. Thrifty, 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 using money and resources carefully, frugal, economical, wasteful. 2900. Unmitigated, 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 absolute, unqualified, absolute, sheer, partial. Unit 59. 2901. Adjunct, 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 a thing added to something else as a supplementary rather than an essential part. Addition, supplement, essential. 2902. Altercation, 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 a noisy argument or disagreement, quarrel, dispute, agreement. 2903. Cascade, 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 a small waterfall, typically one of several that fall in stages. Waterfall, chute. 2904. Ellipsis, 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 the omission of words or series of words. Omission, gap. Inclusion. 2905. Gait, 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 a person's manner of walking, stride, walk, stillness. 2906. Glimmer, 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 a faint or wavering light, shine, flicker, darkness. 2907. Glut, 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 an excessively abundant supply of something, surplus, oversupply, scarcity. 2908. Insolence, 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 rude and disrespectful behavior, impudence, rudeness, politeness. 2909. Interloper, 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 a person who becomes involved in a place or situation where they are not wanted. Intruder, trespasser, insider. 2910. Intimacy, 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 close familiarity or friendship, closeness, closeness, familiarity, distance. 2911. Orator, 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 a public speaker, speaker, rhetorician, listener. 2912. Quarrel, 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 an angry argument or disagreement, argument, dispute, harmony. 2913. Repulsion, 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 a sense of disgust or distaste, revulsion, disgust, attraction. 2914. Admire, 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 to regard with respect or warm approval, esteem, respect, despise. 2915. Advocate, 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 to publicly recommend or support, support, champion, oppose. 2916. Decapitate, 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 to cut off the head of, behead. 2917. Discount, 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 to regard something as unworthy of consideration, dismiss, disregard, heed. 2918. Dispel, 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 to make disappear, erase, banish, encourage. 2919. Emanate, 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 to originate from, to give out, emit, issue, absorb. 2920. Encompass, encompass, encompass. To surround and have or hold within. Include, cover, exclude. 2921. Exceed, exceed, exceed. To go beyond in quantity or degree. Surpass, outdo, fail. 2922. Exhort, exhort, exhort. To strongly encourage or urge someone to do something. Urge, implore, discourage. 2923. Founder, founder, founder. To fail or break down, typically as a result of a particular problem. Collapse, fail, succeed. 2924. Gape, gape, gape. To stare with one's mouth open in wonder or astonishment. Ogle, stare, ignore. 2925. Gloss over, gloss over, gloss over. To treat or describe something briefly or dismissively. Cover up, downplay, emphasize. 2926. List, list, list. To tilt or lean to one side. Tilt, lean, level. 2927. Pine, pine, pine. To yearn deeply. Suffer with longing. Long, yearn, abandon. 2928. Propound, propound, propound. To put forward an idea for consideration. Propose, suggest, withdraw. 2929. Revoke, revoke, revoke. To officially cancel or withdraw. Cancel, annul, affirm. 2930. Swagger, swagger, swagger. To walk or behave in a very confident and arrogant or self-important way. Strut, parade, slouch. 2931. Abundant, abundant, abundant. Existing or available in large quantities. Plentiful, ample, scarce. 2932. Angular, angular, angular. Having angles or clear edges. Stiff in movement. Sharp, bony, smooth. 2933. Bold, bold, bold. Showing an ability to take risks. Confident and courageous. Brave, fearless, timid. 2934. Concise, concise, concise. Giving a lot of information clearly and in few words. Succinct, brief, wordy. 2935. Discriminating, discriminating, discriminating. Having refined taste or good judgment. Selective, discerning, undiscriminating. 2936. Disheveled, disheveled, disheveled. Untidy, disordered, messy, unkempt, neat. 2937. Disjointed, disjointed, disjointed. Lacking coherence or connection. Unconnected, incoherent, coherent. 2938. Dubious, dubious, dubious. Hesitating or doubting. Uncertain, skeptical, certain. 2939. Florid, florid, florid. Elaborately or excessively intricate or complicated. Ornate, elaborate, plain. 2940. Impalpable, impalpable, impalpable. Unable to be felt by touch. Intangible, imperceptible, palpable. 2941. Imperious, imperious, imperious. Assuming power or authority without justification. Domineering, overbearing, humble. 2942. Inane, inane, inane. Silly, stupid, foolish, pointless, meaningful. 2943. Inimical, inimical, inimical. Tending to obstruct or harm. Hostile, unfriendly, friendly. 2944. Low, low, low. Humble in status. Not high. Humble, modest, high. 2945. Mottled, 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 marked. With spots or smears of color, blotchy, speckled, uniform. 2946. Newfound, newfound, newfound. Newly discovered or acquired. New, novel, old. 2947. Paltry, paltry, paltry. Small or meager. Meager, trivial, significant. 2948. Placid, 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 calm and peaceful, tranquil, serene, agitated. 2949 responsive, 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 reacting quickly and positively, reactive, receptive, unresponsive. 2950 sedulous, 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 showing dedication and diligence, assiduous, diligent, lazy. Unit 60. 2951 braggart, 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 a person who boasts, boaster, blowhard, modest person. 2952 caricature, 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 a picture exaggerating features for comic effect, parody, cartoon, realism. 2953 catastrophe, 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 an event causing great damage, disaster, calamity, triumph. 2954 experiment, 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 a scientific test, trial, test. 2955 extrapolation, 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 estimation beyond known data, projection, inference. 2956 extrovert, 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 an outgoing person, socialite, outgoing person, introvert. 2957 ford, 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 a shallow place in a river to cross, shallows, crossing, deep. 2958 forebears, 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 ancestors, ancestors, forefathers, descendants. 2959 furlough, 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 a leave of absence, leave, layoff, employment. 2960 galleon, 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 a large sailing ship, sailing ship. 2961 impropriety, 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 improper or immoral behavior, misconduct, indecency, propriety. 2962 innovation, 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 a new method, idea or product, novelty, invention, tradition. 2963 insurrection, 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 a violent uprising against authority, rebellion, revolt, obedience. 2964 interlocutor, 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 a person who takes part in a dialogue, speaker, conversationalist. 2965 linchpin, 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 a vital person or thing, keystone, anchor, triviality. 2966 liniment, 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 a medicated liquid rubbed on the skin, ointment, lotion. 2967 propinquity, 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 nearness in space, time or relationship, proximity, closeness, distance. 2968 serendipity, 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 fortunate discovery by chance, fluke, luck, misfortune. 2969 severity, 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 the condition of being very serious, harshness, gravity, leniency. 2970 spate, 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 a large number or amount in quick succession, flood, slough, trickle. 2971 wastrel, 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 a wasteful person, profligate, spendthrift, miser. 2972 woe, 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 great sorrow or distress, misery, sorrow, joy. 2973 xenophobia, 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 dislike of or prejudice against foreigners, nationalism, intolerance, open-mindedness. 2974 appease, 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 to calm by giving in to demands, placate, pacify, provoke. 2975 defer, 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 to put off to a later time, postpone, delay, expedite. 2976 deliberate, 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 to think about carefully, consider, ponder, rush. 2977 encumber, 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 to burden or weigh down, hamper, hinder, assist. 2978. Exacerbate, exacerbate, exacerbate. To make a problem worse. Aggravate, worsen, alleviate. 2979. Forswear, forswear, forswear. To renounce or give up under oath. Renounce, abjure, embrace. 2980. Integrate, integrate, integrate. To combine into a whole. Merge, unify, segregate. 2981. Molt, molt, molt. To shed feathers, hair, or skin. Shed, slew, grow. 2982. Replicate, replicate, replicate. To make an exact copy of. Reproduce, reproduce, copy. Originate. 2983. Suborn, suborn, suborn. To bribe someone to commit an unlawful act. Bribe, induce, deter. 2984. Superimpose, superimpose, superimpose. To place over something else. Overlay, place over. Remove. 2985. Vent, vent, vent. To express, express, voice, bottle up. 2986. Vex, vex, vex. To annoy or worry. Irritate, bother, soothe. 2987. Whittle, whittle, whittle. To carve or reduce by cutting small slices. Carve, pare. Build. 2988. Arbitrary, arbitrary, arbitrary. Based on random choice rather than reason. Capricious, random, reasoned. 2989. Garish, garish, garish. Excessively bright and showy. Gaudy, flashy, subtle. 2990. Heterodox, heterodox, heterodox. Not conforming with accepted beliefs. Unorthodox, nonconformist, orthodox. 2991. Impassive, impassive, impassive. Not showing emotion. Emotionless, stolid, expressive. 2992. Infamous, infamous, infamous. Well known for a bad quality. Notorious, disreputable, renowned. 2993. Multiform, multiform, multiform. Occurring in many forms, varied, diverse. Uniform. 2994. Petty, petty, petty. Of little importance. Small-minded. Trivial, small, important. 2995. Precocious, precocious, precocious. Having developed abilities earlier than is usual. Advanced, early developing. Late blooming. 2996. Rigorous, rigorous, rigorous. Extremely thorough or strict. Stringent, exacting, lenient. 2997. Stagnant, stagnant, stagnant. Not moving, dull. Motionless, inactive. Flowing. 2998. Unmistakable, unmistakable, unmistakable. Clear. Not able to be mistaken. Obvious, evident, ambiguous. 2999. Volatile, volatile, volatile. Likely to change suddenly or violently. Unstable, explosive. Stable. 3000. Worldly, worldly, worldly. Concerned with material rather than spiritual matters. Secular, earthly, spiritual. Unit 61. 3001. Ascetic, ascetic, ascetic. One who practices strict self-denial. Abstainer, recluse, sensualist. 3002. Clique, clique, clique. A small exclusive group. Coterie, circle, crowd. 3003. Collage, collage, collage. Art assembled from various materials. Assemblage, montage. 3004. Disagreement, disagreement, disagreement. Lack of consensus or harmony. Conflict, dispute, agreement. 3005. Dissonance, dissonance, dissonance. Lack of harmony among musical notes or ideas. Discord, conflict, harmony. 3006. Doggerel, doggerel, doggerel. Comic verse in a regular rhythm. Verse, rhyme. 3007. Entourage, entourage, entourage. A group of attendants or associates. retinue posse. 3008. Firebrand, firebrand, firebrand. Someone who incites unrest. Agitator, radical, moderate. 3009. Interim, interim, interim. The intervening time. Meantime, interval, future. 3010. Latitude, latitude, latitude. Scope for freedom of action. Leeway, freedom, restriction. 3011. Nicety, nicety, nicety. A fine detail or distinction, nuance, subtlety, roughness. 3012. Nonentity, nonentity, nonentity. A person of no importance, nobody, nothing, celebrity. 3013. Plasticity, plasticity, plasticity. Capability to be molded or shaped, flexibility, malleability, rigidity. 3014. Practitioner, practitioner, practitioner. A person actively engaged in a profession, professional, doctor, amateur. 3015. Proxy, proxy, proxy. Authorized substitute, delegate, representative, principal. 3016. Recipient, recipient, recipient. A person who receives, receiver, beneficiary, donor. 3017. Scenario, scenario, scenario. Written outline of a film or events. Outline, plot, reality. 3018. Schism, schism, schism. A split or division. Division, rift, unity. 3019. Supposition, supposition, supposition. An uncertain belief, assumption, hypothesis, fact. 3020. Throng, throng, throng. A large, densely packed crowd of people. Crowd, multitude, individual. 3021. Timidity, timidity, timidity. Lack of, courage or confidence. Shyness, timorousness, boldness. 3022. Addle, addle, addle. To make unable to think clearly. Confuse, confuse, muddle, clarify. 3023. Allude, allude, allude. To hint at indirectly. Refer, suggest, declare. 3024. Amend, amend, amend. To make minor changes to improve. Modify, revise, worsen. 3025. Circumscribe, circumscribe, circumscribe. Restrict within limits, limit, confine, expand. 3026. Decipher, decipher, decipher. To convert a code into normal language. Decode, interpret, encrypt. 3027. Defame, defame, defame. To harm reputation by false statements. Libel, slander, praise. 3028. Denigrate, denigrate, denigrate. To criticize unfairly, belittle, defame, disparage, praise. 3029. Disparage, disparage, disparage. To speak of slightingly, belittle, decry, praise. 3030. Fabricate, fabricate, fabricate. To invent or concoct, forge, falsify, verify. 3031. Predict, predict, predict. To say what will happen before it occurs. Forecast, anticipate, review. 3032. Proselytize, proselytize, proselytize. To convert someone to a faith or cause. Evangelize, convert, deter. 3033. Savor, savor, savor. To enjoy flavor or experience fully. Relish, taste, abhor. 3034. Traduce, traduce, traduce. To speak maliciously of, betray, defame, slander, honor. 3035. Vouchsafe, vouchsafe, vouchsafe. To grant or give, bestow, grant, withhold. 3036. Abstemious, abstemious, abstemious. Self-disciplined in consumption. Moderate, temperate, gluttonous. 3037. Agrarian, agrarian, agrarian relating to land or farming, agricultural, urban. 3038. Biased, biased, biased. Unfairly prejudiced for or against, prejudiced, slanted, impartial. 3039, bicameral, 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 having 2 legislative chambers, 2-chambered, unicameral. 3040, bloated, 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 swollen or puffed up, distended, thin. 3041, complementary, 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 combining to enhance qualities, harmonious, matching, clashing. 3042, corporeal, 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 relating to the body, bodily, physical, spiritual. 3043, disingenuous, 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 not candid or sincere, duplicitous, deceitful, frank. 3044, dowdy, 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 lacking in style or fashion, unfashionable, frumpy, drab, stylish. 3045, gusty, 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 characterized by strong gusts of wind, blustery, windy, calm. 3046, iconoclastic, 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 attacking cherished beliefs, heretical, radical, orthodox. 3047, injurious, 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 causing harm or damage, harmful, detrimental, beneficial. 3048, invidious, 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 offensive, hateful, resentful, unfair, flattering. 3049, localized, 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 restricted to particular area, regional, confined, widespread. 3050, mobile, 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 able to move freely, movable, portable, fixed. Unit 62. 3051, advocacy, 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 public support for a cause, support, promotion, opposition. 3052, catharsis, 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 the process of releasing strong emotions, purification, release, repression. 3053, condition, 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 state of something, state, shape, disorder. 3054, emollient, 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 a soothing agent, moisturizer. 3055, ethos, 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 the characteristic spirit of a culture, spirit, character. 3056, fruition, 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 the point at which a plan is realized, realization, fulfillment, abandonment. 3057, implication, 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 a possible effect or result, consequence, inference, clarity. 3058, invective, 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 insulting or abusive language, vitriol, abuse, praise. 3059, knave, 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 a dishonest or unscrupulous man, rogue, scoundrel, honest. 3060, litigation, 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 the process of taking legal action, lawsuit, prosecution, settlement. 3061, merger, 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 the combining of 2 entities, union, amalgamation, split. 3062, metaphor, 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 a figure of speech comparing without like or as, analogy, literal language. 3063, philology, 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 the study of language in historical texts, linguistics. 3064, prologue, 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 an introductory section, introduction, epilogue. 3065, reprobate, 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 an unprincipled person, rogue, scoundrel, moralist. 3066, rigor, 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 strictness or severity, strictness, harshness, leniency. 3067, talisman, 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 an object with magical powers, amulet, charm. 3068, trajectory, 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 the path followed by an object, path, course. 3069, truculence, 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 aggressively harsh behavior, ferocity, brutality, meekness. 3070. Yen, 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 a strong desire or craving, longing, craving, aversion. 3071. Badger, 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 to pester persistently, harass, annoy, leave alone. 3072. Bait, 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 to lessen intensity, diminish, moderate, intensify. 3073. Bluster, 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 to talk in a loud, aggressive manner, rant, boast, whisper. 3074. Coalesce, 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 to come together to form one mass, merge, unite, separate. 3075. Conform, 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 to comply with rules or standards, comply, adhere, defy. 3076. Delude, 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 to mislead the mind or judgment, deceive, trick, enlighten. 3077. Dissuade, 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 to persuade not to take a course of action, deter, discourage, encourage. 3078. Enfranchise, 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 to give the right to vote, empower, authorize, disenfranchise. 3079. Extrude, 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 to push or force out, expel, eject, ingest. 3080. Mesmerize, 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 to hold attention as if by magic, spellbind, captivate, bore. 3081. Perturb, 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 to disturb greatly, upset, unsettle, calm. 3082. Popularize, 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 to make something widely known or liked, promote, publicize, neglect. 3083. Sheath, 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 to place into a protective covering, encase, sheath, unsheath. 3084. Skulk, 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 to move stealthily, sneak, lurk, parade. 3085. Stigmatize, 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 to describe as worthy of disgrace, taint, disgrace, praise. 3086. Taint, 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 to contaminate or pollute, stain, corrupt, purify. 3087. Astral, 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 relating to the stars, stellar, celestial, terrestrial. 3088. Cardinal, 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 of fundamental, importance, principle, main, minor. 3089. Deceptive, 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 giving an appearance with intent to mislead, misleading, false, honest. 3090. Ductile, 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 able to be drawn into thin wire, malleable, pliable, brittle. 3091. Efficacious, 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 effective in producing desired results, effective, potent, ineffective. 3092. Hazy, 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 vague or unclear, unclear, foggy, clear. 3093. Hulking, 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 large and threatening, bulky, massive, tiny. 3094. Inclement, 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 unpleasantly cold or wet, stormy, harsh, mild. 3095. Laborious, 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 requiring considerable effort, arduous, strenuous, easy. 3096. Wrapped, 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 completely fascinated, enthralled, absorbed, disinterested. 3097. Retrograde, 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 moving backward, backward, reversed, forward. 3098. Transitory, 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 lasting only a short time, temporary, fleeting, permanent. 3099. Unwitting, 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 not aware of the full facts, unaware, ignorant, aware. 3100. Concerning, 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 regarding, about, regarding, bout. Unit 63. 3101. Accuracy, accuracy, accuracy. The quality of being correct or precise. Precision, exactness. Inaccuracy. 3102. Alcove, alcove, alcove. A small recessed section of a room. Niche, recess, projection. 3103. Bypass, bypass, bypass. A secondary road or path that avoids a busy area. Detour, alternative route. 3104. Catechism, catechism, catechism. A summary of religious doctrine. Instruction manual. 3105. Charlatan, charlatan, charlatan. A person falsely claiming to have special knowledge or skill. Fraud, imposter, expert. 3106. Conduit, conduit, conduit. A channel for conveying water or other fluid. Channel, pipe, blockage. 3107. Fanaticism, fanaticism, fanaticism. Extreme zeal or enthusiasm. Zealotry, extremism, indifference. 3108. Fecundity, fecundity, fecundity. The ability to produce abundant offspring or new growth. Fertility, fruitfulness, sterility. 3109. Finale, finale, finale. The last part of a performance. Conclusion, ending, beginning. 3110. Foible, foible, foible. A minor weakness in character. Weakness, flaw, strength. 3111. Membrane, membrane, membrane. A thin, pliable layer of tissue covering surfaces. Film layer, solid. 3112. Quadruped, quadruped, quadruped. An animal that has 4 feet. 4-footed animal, biped. 3113. Sanctuary, sanctuary, sanctuary. A place of refuge or safety. Refuge, haven, danger. 3114. Tantrum, tantrum, tantrum. An uncontrolled outburst of anger. Outburst, fit, calm. 3115. Trough, trough, trough. A long, narrow container for animals to eat from. Feed box. 3116. Turncoat, turncoat, turncoat. A person who deserts one party for another. Traitor, renegade, loyalist. 3117. Vanguard, vanguard, vanguard. The forefront of an action or movement. Forefront, lead, rear. 3118. Vogue, vogue, vogue. The prevailing fashion or style. Trend, fashion, outdated. 3119. Canvas, canvas, canvas. To solicit votes or opinions. Survey, solicit, ignore. 3120. Clamber, clamber, clamber. To climb awkwardly. Scramble, climb, descend. 3121. Compile, compile, compile. To produce by assembling information. Assemble, collect, disperse. 3122. Dawdle, dawdle, dawdle. To waste time. Be slow, linger, procrastinate, hurry. 3123. Dismantle, dismantle, dismantle. To take apart. Disassemble, demolish, assemble. 3124. Energize, energize, energize. To give vitality and enthusiasm to. Invigorate, stimulate, enervate. 3125. Is chew, is chew, is chew. To deliberately avoid using. Abstain from, shun, avoid, embrace. 3126. Events, events, events. To reveal the presence of, demonstrate, exhibit, conceal. 3127. Flounder, flounder, flounder. To struggle clumsily or helplessly. Struggle, falter, succeed. 3128. Generate, generate, generate. To bring into existence. Produce, produce, create, destroy. 3129. Misconstrue, misconstrue, misconstrue. To interpret something wrongly. Misinterpret, misunderstand, interpret. 3130. Alimentary, 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 relating to nourishment or digestion, nutritional. 3131, amorphous, 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 without a clearly defined shape or form, shapeless, formless, structured. 3132, benevolent, 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 well-meaning and kindly, kind-hearted, charitable, malevolent. 3133, checkered, 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 marked by periods of varied fortune, varied, turbulent, steady. 3134, deft, 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 demonstrating skill and cleverness, skillful, adept, clumsy. 3135, dulcet, 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 sweet and soothing, melodious, harmonious, harsh. 3136, equine, 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 relating to horses, horse-like. 3137, estranged, 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 alienated or separated, alienated, separated, reconciled. 3138, indifferent, 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 having no particular interest or sympathy, apathetic, unconcerned, concerned. 3139, lackluster, 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 lacking in vitality, force, or conviction, uninspired, dull, brilliant. 3140, lewd, 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 crude and offensive in a sexual way, indecent, vulgar, modest. 3141, linguistic, 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 relating to language, verbal, lexical, nonverbal. 3142, obtuse, 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 annoyingly insensitive or slow to understand, dull, slow, sharp. 3143, outlandish, 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 looking or sounding bizarre, bizarre, unusual, ordinary. 3144, phlegmatic, 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 having an unemotional and stolidly calm disposition, calm, composed, excitable. 3145, practicable, 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 able to be put into practice, feasible, feasible, workable, impracticable. 3146, precarious, 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 not securely held or in position, dangerously likely to fall, unstable, risky, secure. 3147, reprehensible, 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 deserving blame or punishment, culpable, blameworthy, commendable. 3148, sedate, 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 calm, dignified and unhurried, tranquil, composed, agitated. 3149, trivial, 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 of little value or importance, insignificant, petty, important. 3150, gamely, 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 with spirit or courage, bravely, valiantly, cowardly,